And this is a sad one to report, I must say. Akira Toriyama has passed away over the weekend at the age of 68. For those of you who don't know, Akira Toriyama is the creator of Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z, which is considered one of the biggest animes of all time. I would definitely say it's one of the most influential animes of all time, and it was definitely a big part of my childhood. I don't I don't even know how to put into words how like how much this man's work meant to me and my friends. Like we were definitely the perfect age when Dragon Ball Z came out here in the states. Like I think Pokemon became big in 1999. 1999 I think was when I got into Pokemon. 2000, and then like around 2001 2002, that's when like I discovered Toonami. And I remember like I was kind of aging out of Pokemon. I think I was like 13 or 14, and then like Dragon Ball Z. I remember discovering Dragon Ball Z on Toonami. Like my brothers were into it before I was, but like it was one of those shows that like there was no other show like it. Like it definitely like caught your attention, and one of the big things was the art style. Like Akira Toriyama, like his art style is very simple but very like recognizable and like iconic. Like Goku is a very simple looking character, but like there's no other character that looks like Goku. Like I don't know, like Dragon Ball Z, it will always be like a very important show to me. Like I'm not gonna say it's like it's like the best anime or anything, but it's definitely the most influential. And like Dragon Ball Z was also one of the first shows that I ever watched where like time actually passed. We got to see Goku go from a kid to a grown up with his own kid, and then we got to see that kid grow up. Um, Definitely like with Pokemon, Ash has been 11 years old for 25 years. With Dragon Ball Z, we got to see Goku grow up. We got to see his son grow up. We got to see Gohan have a kid, and that kid's growing up. In fact, one of my biggest nitpicks with like new Dragon Ball stuff, like Dragon Ball Super, is that the characters are young again. They refuse to let them grow up again. Like they're like Goku still like I don't know how old Goku is now, probably in his 40s, but like they refuse to like let time pass, and even to the point where like the new Dragon Ball show that's gonna come out, they're making everyone kids again. So like I think that has to do with like our time now. I feel like our generation is all about reliving the past, and like nothing ever really dies. Like we're still watching comic book movies, we're still watching Star Wars. Like all these things that I was into as a kid are still relevant now. And I think Dragon Ball Z is one of those shows where like instead of like letting it progress, we're kind of just stuck in this loop of letting Goku become a kid over and over and like refusing to let him grow up. Um Let me go ahead and check the chat, see what people are saying. I know Hyper Shadow probably has a lot to say about this. um, Hyper Shadow, the grill makes him look. The grill makes his smile look kind of homeless. Yeah, he like looks like he doesn't have teeth. So, we're talking about Kanye for that one. Akira Toriyama, R.I.P. to the goat. Kara with a K. Yeah, I have was showing some clips of the party on IG this weekend. Are we talking about Kanye? Really small room. Yeah, that we'll know when Kanye's gonna release Vultures 2, because he's gonna have a big listening party for it. So I feel like once we get that big listening party, we'll get Vultures 2 like a few days later. All right, Hyper Shadow. Last time I felt this way when a celebrity passed away was Michael Jackson and Paul Walker, since I was such a huge fan of both. Toriyama was essentially the Michael Jackson of the anime world. Yeah, he was like I'm trying to think of a good comparison for Toriyama. Like I don't even know. Like I almost want to say he was like the Stan Lee Um, like I think Stan Lee is another one that his work was so influential. Um, but yeah, I feel like I can't even compare Akira Toriyama to anyone. Like he was like he's his own person, and like Dragon Ball was super influential, but like Dragon Ball wasn't even the only thing he did. He did Dragon Quest and Chrono Triggers and like all those other things that like have huge fan bases of their own. So and what's worse is like he died of a what was it, a blood clot in the brain. So like he was actually very young, like 68. Like he still had a good 20 years left, and he was still working on like on he was still working on stuff. Like he was involved in the new Dragon Ball project, and like it's sad, man. Kara with a K. No, I grew up with Dragon Ball Z in the islands. Yeah, we we all did. Like there's you can't rewind time, and there's no going back, but like I'll forever cherish the Toonami days and the early Dragon Ball Z days. Hyper Shadow. Dragon Ball has come full circle with them being kids again with Dragon Ball Daima. The timing is crazy because it goes back to the beginning and Toriyama is now gone. Yeah, yeah. And like I've always felt that Toriyama prefers the comedic side of Dragon Ball versus the action side, and he only really focused on the action side was because that's what became really popular. Like you can kind of tell he like because like Dragon Ball Z got really serious with like the Cell arc, and then after the Cell arc, Akira Toriyama's editor left the team, and then he got a new editor that let him do whatever he wanted. So like that's how we got all the comedic stuff in the Buu saga, was because I feel like that was what Akira Toriyama wanted to do. Like he was more interested in like doing like doing comedic stuff. Like I'm pretty sure he wanted the Gohan in high school stuff to like be a bigger deal than it was. Um Kara with a K, very detailed and unique character drawings. Yep. And like also very simple at the same time. Like I feel like Goku, his face has no features. It's just his hair. His hair that makes him iconic. Like if you look at Goku and Vegeta and like all the other characters' faces, they all have like the same face. It's the hairstyles that differentiate them. Um, Toriyama was definitely the Stan Lee of manga anime. Yep. And like without him, like there would be no One Piece, there would be no Naruto, there would be no Bleach, there would be like no like a lot of these shows, um, they like all these manga artists will say that Akira Toriyama is their biggest inspiration, and you can see it, especially in like a show like One Piece or Naruto. You can tell. It's scary. I keep seeing more and more people passing away in their 40s and 50s. Makes me think of us in our lives. Yup. We're definitely, that's how you know we're getting old, when like the people that impacted our lives growing up are starting to pass away. Stan Lee, Akira Toriyama, Hyper Shadow. Toriyama definitely liked comedy more than adventure. More than action. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know about adventure. I think he likes like Dragon Ball was originally a comedy adventure story, so I think that's what he prefers. And like I don't know if any of you guys seen Battle of the Gods, but that was like the big Dragon Ball Z comeback that came out. Man, that came out like 10 years ago. 10 years ago now, and to me, I still consider that like new Dragon Ball Z. But like Battle of the Gods, that was like people were expecting it to be like this big action comeback, and it was pretty much just a big comedy event. Like the big fight at the end took up like what 15 minutes of the movie, and the rest of the movie was just Bulma and her parties, and like and the gang just Vegeta singing the bingo song, and all these like wacky stuff going on. So yeah, that makes me sad. Hopefully there's no more big deaths like that in 2024. I feel like ever since COVID happened, like we started seeing a bunch of celebrities just passing away. And yeah, I'm kind of sad about that. This one really did hurt me. But anyways, that's it for tonight's episode.
Introducing the Late Night Show with your host Cuddy Bino. Live streamed every Sunday night at midnight. Search Cuddy Bino on YouTube to catch the first episode.